Greetings to all melanated people all around the world. It's really a joy, it's a blessing, it's an honor to be out here in nature and greeting you, being in this lovely garden here, of which many of our ancestors would have come many years ago to do their meditation. Now, many in my country do not know this because the history that they read was given to them by the Europeans. And this place is known as a place of interest. And it is because many of our ancestors knew that this place, of which I am sitting right here, this beautiful garden, is the heart chakra of this country or this island. And many fail to realize that the name of this beautiful island was changed by the Europeans also. But I won't go much deep into it. I'm gonna do a book about my whole country and all of the things that were taught to them that supposed to be different. And it's gonna sound strange to some people because of the history that was given to them. Okay, but enough of that being said for now. I want to speak concerning Abdullah and Neville Goddard and how Abdullah taught Neville Goddard. And the reason why I choose to speak about how Abdullah taught the law or how he taught Neville Goddard, it is because I want especially black people to realize that this was not a man just using idle words. This was not just a man who wanted was to leave Ethiopia and come to New York City and to just do lecture and meet a white man and teach him and even study the Kabbalah with him and everything, okay? But I want you to see that how Abdullah taught Neville was that he was teaching a language of consciousness, and this language of consciousness was a language of symbology. And that is what I really want to point out to you. The language of symbology and how important it was. For it was Neville who said that he went to Abdullah and he said, the strangest feeling is taking me over. For 12 years, I've left Barbados and I've never had this strong desire like I have it now to go to Barbados. First thing there that you're learning is about desire and what is really desire and how powerful desires are and how it's a spiritual sensation that you're having. And if you would go along with the spiritual sensation, it will bring forth an impregnation, and the impregnation will bring forth a manifestation. Now, when we look at our people and the way they were taught and how the Bible was interpreted to them, you can see clearly through symbology that Abdullah was teaching Neville that there was a people who did not know the language of the Bible and who are actually in mental slavery because they do not really know that the Bible should be interpreted psychologically. So Abdullah said to Neville, you are already in Barbados. You have gone to Barbados. And you have gone to Barbados not just anyhow, but you have gone to Barbados first class. And Neville had no money, absolutely no money. No. What was he teaching him? That money is energy. that money is currency, that we are electrical and magnetic beings, and if we seek first the kingdom and we discover the kingdom to be within us, that all these things will be added unto us, whatever we so much need. So it is said, come and buy milk, come and buy wine, come and buy honey, without money. Teaching you that your thought is what is basically creating your reality. So here Abdullah was teaching Neville how to understand the Bible psychologically, and he told him to sleep as if he's sleeping in Barbados in his mother's house. And when he walked the streets of New York, see as if he's walking the streets of Barbados. And as Neville will tell you, in New York, there are 10-story buildings and 100-story buildings and so on. And in New York, the tallest building might be 2-3-story buildings. Yet, he had to hold the image so perfectly in his imagination and believe so much, so firmly in the invisible to see it manifest in the visible. So here Abdullah was teaching our people that they have never had the true understanding of faith, that they have never had the true understanding of who God is, and they have never had a true understanding of how to serve this God, because they was given a false God, because they was given a God outside of themselves. They was given to believe in a God who doesn't reflect their image and their likeness. So here was a black man teaching a white man that he, the black man, knows his true identity, and he can travel or go to anywhere that the sole of his feet can tread. So here a man was teaching not theory but the practical. He was showing that results don't tell lies. Results speaks the truth. So Neville had to sleep as if he's sleeping in his parents' home in Barbados. Neville had to walk the streets of America, and in his imagination he's walking the streets of Barbados, to show us what was done to us, to show us the level of our captivity, to show us why our people is still in mental slavery, to show us that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically, that the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history, and that when the Bible is interpreted psychologically, that it will be able to free black people from their mental slavery and from their idolatry and from worshiping the white man as their God. Because anytime you say Jesus Christ or call upon the name of Jesus Christ, and you have a picture in your mind of a power that is existing outside of yourself, and in your subconscious mind from a little child, every time you saw a picture of Jesus Christ or a representation of Jesus Christ, it was always a white man or a Jewish man or someone outside of yourself. Then you can check your subconscious mind, because whatever you say in your subconscious mind, that's why your subconscious mind will bring forth. So here we see Abdullah was teaching Neville how to rearrange his mind, how to change his mind, how to break the curse of idolatry that was keeping him in poverty and mediocrity. So while everybody was crying out for depression and scarcity, here was Abdullah living in his true spirituality, because he knew his identity and he knew who he was as a black man. right in the heart of America, right in New York City. So, how Abdullah taught? Abdullah taught through symbology. Abdullah taught through love. Abdullah taught what is true power. Abdullah taught what is true money. Abdullah taught what is true wealth. Abdullah taught what is true health. Abdullah taught what is true riches and abundance. Abdullah taught how to transcend the physical into the spiritual. Abdullah taught how to think fourth dimensionally. Abdullah taught how to discover your mortal and your immortal self. Abdullah taught how to discover your visible and your invisible self. Abdullah taught that there is a visible you and an invisible you, and wherever you can go in the invisible you can go in the visible you. Abdullah taught that if you can believe in visible money, in money that is visible to you, then you are to believe more in money that is invisible, because the invisible you is the real you. So if you want to have money in the physical, see yourself having it in the spiritual, because you are a spirit having a human experience. So Abdullah wasn't like the typical preacher. Abdullah was a demonstrator. How did Abdullah taught? He taught by demonstrating the facts. He taught by giving you something practical to do and showing you Psalm 4:4. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. And teach you 2 Corinthians 13:5. Test yourself. See if you need faith or not. Don't you know your own self? Don't you know your own self? That Jesus Christ is in you? Don't you know that Jesus Christ is the creative power in you? Don't you know that Jesus Christ is the creator in you, and he just represents the creator in you? And that Jesus Christ is not a man 2,000 years ago? He's a personification of your own human imagination, which is God in man. That's why it is said that all things were made by him, and without him isn't anything made that was made. Everything that was made was first imagined, and everything else that ever going to be made must first be imagined. So Abdullah taught that imagination creates reality. Abdullah taught that our true power is mind power, and that the real black power is mind power. That the real black power is the power of imagining. It's not an organization. It's not a demonstration. It's not marching and saying that Black Lives Matter. It's using and knowing how to use your mind power. It's exercising your mind power. It's getting into the invisible you and believing in the invisible you. And you have to use the invisible you to complete the visible you, to live in peace and harmony and prosperity. So you have to put more trust in the spiritual world, or the invisible world, than the visible world. Because faith is being loyal to the unseen. You have to be loyal to the invisible world. That's why faith, it says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And Abdullah taught us how to operate in that kind of faith, and how to get back to that kind of faith by believing in ourselves and believing what the ancestors would have taught us. Man, know thyself. Know who you are. Know that you are the creator. Knowing that you are the Lord and Master of your own destiny, and that your thoughts is what is creating your reality. And you have no one to blame but yourself. Because your greatest enemy is yourself. Because the devil is your negative self, and God is your higher self. So you have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. You are an invisible you and a visible you. And your visible outer you is reflecting the invisible you. So your visible wall is reflecting your invisible wall. So the way how you're thinking in the invisible wall is how you will manifest things in your visible wall. So when you speak about Abraham, it's speaking about the invisible you. When you speak about all of the different characters in the Bible, it is speaking about the invisible you. They're just personification of consciousness or states of mind. So you have to decide what state you want to be in. If you want to be in a state of affluence, or if you want to be in a state of destitution, it is your choice, my brothers and my sisters. And that is why we had such an ancestor as Abdullah, who taught Neville Goddard the law, but couldn't teach him the promise, because the promise is an experience that you must experience for yourself. And I've had that experience, and it's because I've had that experience why I take it upon myself to find myself in this place, reaching out to our people, bringing a message to our people, because I am not teaching anything that I have not experienced. If I hadn't experienced the birth from the skull, and understand the true virgin birth, and understand the true resurrection, and understand what it means to change from mortal to immortality in a twinkling of an eye, I wouldn't have been here speaking to you. I'm not an intellectual, but I know what I'm speaking to you is the truth. And just how our ancestor Abdullah taught Neville the law, so too I want us to understand that Abdullah was teaching a message of symbology and teaching that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. And that's the message I want you to take from this whole video that I'm doing here, and to understand that our belief system as black people is what have us in slavery, and the only slavery there is mental slavery. Forget about all of the physical slavery that has been passed, and now realize that you are in mental slavery, and you can free yourself by changing your mind. Change your mind, you change your life. So that means, my brother and my sister, I want to thank you very much, and I want to encourage you to continue to support this work by subscribing, by liking this video, or liking all of my videos, and to comment or share this message of self-realization. Now, this message is the single-eye message of self-realization that I teach, and I always teach from Matthew 6:22, which says, if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And I'm saying to you, my brother and my sisters, when you have that experience, you come to realize that it is the rising of the sun in a son, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life, and that the sun parallels the human imagination, the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there's no life and there's no light, and without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And we are the people of the sun. Therefore, my brother and my sisters, I'm encouraging you to use your mind power to achieve your every desire, like our ancestor Abdullah. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you, I'm out.